Hi, I'm RJ Baxter with Gold Star Mortgage, and I'm here today with Chief DeJong of the Evergreen Fire Rescue. And I asked Chief DeJong to meet with me today because, as all of you know, fire danger is a huge, big deal in Colorado every summer. So I asked Chief DeJong to share with us a few ideas on how you can make your house more safe from fires if it would threaten your neighborhood. So first of all, thank you for meeting
Absolutely.
with me. And tell me a little bit, first of all, about Evergreen Fire Rescue.
Evergreen Fire Rescue is a combination fire department. We provide what's considered an all hazards approach to many types of emergencies. We have a paid paramedic staff, we have our own paid dispatchers, we have an administrative staff, as well as a fire marshal and fire prevention group. Our fire operations is run strictly with volunteers. Currently we have 75 volunteers, and we have 16 more going through a training class right now. So by the end of 2011, we'll have a little over 80 volunteers out there serving the community and helping their neighbors out.
That's great. So tell me about a few things that people can do with their homes to make sure that they're fireproof if a fire would hit their neighborhood.
Absolutely. Certainly this season started off much earlier than expected, and mitigation and defensible space, those buzzwords have become quite common much earlier in the season. Defensible space and mitigation can get real complicated. What I want to give you is a couple of tips that are very easy for you to do on the weekend, very inexpensive, and really can make a huge impact on what we look for when we roll up on a house to see, can we defend this home or can we not defend this home if a wildland fire is coming into your subdivision or your community. One of the first things is simply just cleaning up your yard. I know that sounds real simple, but living in the mountains with the trees we have during the winter season, all the pine needles, they die and drop off, all the leaves die and drop off, and with the breezes that we get, it has a tendency to blow underneath our decks by some vents right up against the home, and they get very dry, and they're very susceptible to fire. And all it really takes is one little spark for that to start up, starts a little fire right next to your siding of the house, and it starts crawling up the side of the house and get your home on fire. What most people really don't understand is most homes that are lost in a wildland fire are not lost because of the big flame front that comes through and catches their home on fire. Certainly that does burn several buildings.
Okay.
The majority of what happens is we get these little embers that fly out, and they get a hold of whether it's trash or the weed litter down along the sides of your home, underneath your deck. Another favorite place for them to collect is up in our gutters. Gutters right now, I imagine if most people went out there and reached up there, they could just take a handful of pine needles down, as well as creases of where the shingles are on top of the roof. We get a lot of those embers that just fly up top, and they can just sit there, and with a little bit of a breeze, they just kind of smolder, and then they can take off. So certainly getting anything that's flammable off of the roof, out of the gutters, a good 15-20 feet, just take that rake all those things away, pick them up, and it gives you a little bit of a buffer zone if that fire does start creeping or we get some embers there.
That's interesting, because I thought it was the fire coming through that got the house.
And absolutely, those are the pictures that make the media, because really that's what everyone's watching. It's that shock and awe factor. But and it does absolutely take some of those homes out. But the primary focus that we want to do is get people to get their home prepared to fight off all these little things. We can look at that home and we can say, this home is going to be good, we can defend this. If there's a lot of weed litter, a lot of trash, just very difficult to defend, we may have to make the choice of saying, we cannot defend this home and move on to another home that we feel we can defend. Because we will not have a lot of time to prepare that home if that flame front comes, or if we start getting a lot of those embers flying in. Those embers can fly as far as a quarter to a half a mile. So really it doesn't need to be on your doorstep to cause a problem.
That's really interesting. And my homeowner's insurance agent told me that too, about how sometimes you'll have to defend houses that are more prepared for a fire.
Absolutely.
So, that's a good reason to do it, definitely there.
And it's very difficult to make that decision. And so if
Sure.
if the public can help us out, you help us help you, and it's going to be a good outcome of a very catastrophic event.
What about trees? What's the distance you like to see on trees and branches and that kind of thing?
You know, there's a lot of different rationale and programs out there. The one that we recommend everyone look at is FireWise. Firewise.org. You can go up and you can Google that and get all their information. And they have a lot of different zones. They have zone 1, 2, and 3. You know, the first 15, 25 feet is really the most critical. Obviously, we don't want a bunch of trees hanging over the home. The tree catches on fire, it very easily catches the home on fire. With that being said, we moved to the mountains for a specific reason, to live right next to nature. So what we want to do is we want you to trim those lower branches up 4, 5, 6 feet. That area is what we call ladder fuels. As the fire creeps in on the dead grasses, as it's starting to green up during the spring or late in the summer when it's already gotten real warm and it's already cured, that fire comes on the bottom of those trees and it just runs up those trees. If we cut off those 3, 4, 5 feet on the bottom, it has nowhere to go and it cannot extend up, hence the word ladder fuels. Okay. So certainly that's one key thing with homes. We don't like to see a lot of trees right up against where the branches are intertwining with each other. That just allows one tree to catch going, and it moves it to the next, and it's just kind of like a game of tag. It just goes from one fuel to the next fuel. So if it starts at one tree, moves to the next tree, that next fuel may be your home. So you need to make that judgment of how close do you want those trees to your home. Certainly insurance companies have a lot to say about that. FireWise has a lot of great information. So certainly use all of those resources, as well as a local Forest Service office. They can give you some feedback as well. Certainly the goal is not to get everyone to clear cut their properties. Absolutely not. That's not what we want to live in. But we do need to find that balance of how do we protect ourselves in our home, as well as, if need be, help stop that fire from continuing to progress.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. And you know, one thing too that my insurance guy shared with me is that one thing that is recommended is to do a home inventory, like a video, in case your home were to get taken in the fire. Do you think that's a good idea too?
Absolutely. You can do a video. You can go to FireWise. You can go to some your county emergency management website. Many of them have little forms that you can just print off and you can fill in as well. So you can scan them, type them, or video them. Obviously, if you're needing this information, you've had a very bad day. You've had a very bad outcome. Pictures may not be what the insurance company needs. They're going to want make, model, serial number, some actual detailed information, which you should probably have for your homeowner's insurance anyway. Yeah. But this is just another reason to go ahead and do a real good inventory of those high dollar items, the emotional items, those with sentimental value that'll be real difficult. Clothing and some things like that, that's not quite as critical when it comes time to replace those things.
Okay. And one of our insurance companies that we recommend right now is actually offering a free video inventory if he writes a homeowner's policy for your home. So that's a great value right there to go ahead and plug into that for free and have it be part of your policy. So then the insurance companies have something to go on if your home, you know, terrible thing, but if your home were to go up.
Absolutely.
So, well, thanks for sharing with us some tips.
Absolutely.
We also have an excellent tree company in town here that's our neighbors in Evergreen, Lamb Tree Service. They'll do a free analysis of your home to see what they could do to try to provide some fire mitigation services. This is the tree company that we're recommending right now. So you can find their phone number at our website, or give me a call in the office, and we'll hook you up with them for a free inspection. So thanks again for joining me.
Absolutely, and if anybody has any questions, absolutely just stop by one of our stations and we'll be glad to help out however we can.
Great, sounds good. And thanks for watching the video. I'm RJ Baxter again with Gold Star Mortgage here with Chief DeJong of Evergreen Fire Rescue. Have a great week.